Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today we're talking about the new movie, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Part 2.
Oh, bother.
Let's watch the trailer because this is one of those you've got to see it to believe it and experience it.
Get your holiday gifts in seconds.
Hey, nice job with this holiday preparations.
Why
No,
is
it's
it
no,
playing
no,
the
no, no, no,
trailer?
no, no. You've earned a treat.
Oh
Grab
my
your phone.
goodness.
Hey, you
This
could have
is
hit skip.
You deserve a holiday gift.
my bad.
Get your holiday gifts
What the
in.
heck? I should be logged in. I'm mad. Sorry.
Let's begin. I'm going to take you back there. Feel all weight drift away. How are you feeling?
Good, I think.
Do you recall anything from the session? Focus. What is happening?
This was the day Billy was taken.
Them kids. They didn't stay buried. It's as if the earth itself was allowing this horror to rise up.
There's some unsettling similarities to the 100-Acre Massacre.
It's not safe. There have been loads of murders leading to Ashdown.
Tell me everything you saw, please.
I knew that this day would come. All of Ashdown will burn.
Should have warned you that.
Oh, sorry.
We probably should have warned you that it was kind of a red bandish trailer.
I
But
don't know why it's playing.
and someone over here,
I'm logged in.
in her unprofessionalism, of instead of solving the problem,
I
so
am
going
logged in.
unhinged in the middle of the show.
I didn't. I was just like, I don't know what's going
I know
on.
you're becoming unhinged during the show.
Well, that's because we're watching Winnie the Pooh and he's been unhinged.
So for those who don't know anything about this whole thing, this is a franchise that started with obviously Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. That's all kind of kicked off because Winnie the Pooh became, oh God, what was the word?
Feral?
No, not about the
Angry?
movies. The
Oh,
public
domain properties.
because it's not owned by Disney, it was a book, so the character
Oh,
became public
bother.
domain, and so this made Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. The movie ended up being this hit with the premise. If you've never seen it, it's a movie that has no business working, but it's quite fantastic.
It is.
It is. Is it silly? Yes, but it's a great slasher flick. It's not silly from the standpoint of it's goofy. It doesn't. It takes itself serious.
Oh, for sure.
And the entire premise of the first movie, which I think is a genius direction for this property, is that all the stuff we know of Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh and all them kids stuff actually kind of happened.
Correct.
But he grew up and had to leave,
Yes.
leaving them to fend for themselves and nobody to help take care of them, nobody with lessons and all this stuff. And they essentially went feral. And then we got angry, and all they wanted to do was kill Christopher Robin because he abandoned them.
Correct.
And so that kind of leads into the first movie and all the stuff that happens and blah, 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 blah. So now we're in Winnie the Pooh 2. Now, what this also has kicked off, before we get into this new chapter, is a new universe called the Twisted Childhood Universe, which the filmmaker and the production company now had kind of a hit on their hands. So they said, we're going to build this out.
Yes.
With all these public domain characters now. So they've already announced Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Bambi, I think Sleeping Beauty. There's a few other ones that are all going to culminate, I believe, in 2025 into a movie called The Poohniverse Monsters Assemble. And so they're kind of doing this whole fun universe. They just released a trailer. You can check it out on our website.
HollywoodMatrimony.com.
For Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. It also looks like another fun slasher flick. But we're not here to talk about that. We're talking about the new Winnie the Pooh. Now, before we get into the film itself, you also may notice, if you've seen the posters or anything from the original film, Pooh looks a little different this time
Pooh
around.
got an upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really like it. I kind of liked the gooiness or the simpleness to the mask, because in the first one he's like really.
The first one he looks like the
goopy
cartoon.
and- yeah.
It looks like somebody wearing a mask.
Yeah, which is fine.
And it's.
I think that was endearing.
Well, it was also budgeting.
Yeah, but
so what's
I
happened
liked
is they've
it.
got more of a budget. What I applaud them with this new movie.
He's a little bit furry now.
Is they handled the different looks, and even there's a different actor playing Christopher Robin, and they handled it genius with one small scene. It makes everything make sense and work.
Yes.
And I don't want to spoil it, even though I know a lot of you may not watch this movie.
No, and even so, the intro to this movie, we can't spoil, but it lets us know that even what we thought in part one, and even what we've always been told about Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin, may not have always been what we thought.
Yeah.
So it's a really good creation of this universe, because
has no business working.
No, but it works, and it's like,
work.
you know what? It was never what you see with the little happy fairy tales. It was never really that way.
And it's funny that also plays into the real life ideal of the Grimm's fairy tales, where the original versions of a lot of the fairy tales that we tell
They're
kids
creepy.
Were not the happy-go-lucky stories that we know and tell our children, and they're popular. They were a little darker. They were a little, Grimm's fairy tales was not. I don't want to say it wasn't a kids thing. It was just a little heavier and darker.
Yeah, it was dark.
So that's kind of what they've done with this, and I'll tell you, I love both of these movies. I think they're fantastic.
They were.
They've got great effects for the blood and gore.
One effects.
They got some great kills, which is what you want in a slasher flick. I will agree with you that I like this version of Pooh better, but I don't like the proportions on his body.
Yes, I like the mask, like his whoever this actor is. I don't think it's the same person.
No, it's not.
The mask, I don't know.
They needed to make
the
his
other
head.
One, the neck or something was.
Well,
different.
I think what they did, and if you notice in the imagery, they gave him a head like this with a neck instead of his head merging into his shoulders.
His body, yeah,
which is how Pooh
the other one was.
Which is how Pooh looks. And in the first movie, the head was more like this, so it had that thickness to the neck. This one, his head is way smaller than the rest of his body.
It's the neck. It's the connection of the neck. But anyway, so then his shoulders look too big, and this guy's arms look really long.
Well, the problem is he has a really small head, a really gigantic body, and really long arms.
Yeah,
which does make him a little more disturbing too.
And I was like, "What is that?" But then you see the actor moving his arms, like, "Oh, that guy just has long arms."
Yeah,
okay, that's cool.
But we also have expanded. In the first movie, we only got Pooh and Piglet.
Yes.
And in the story, which this is kind of a spoiler, but it's a very
spoiler. Hold on.
This is for the first movie, though. It's a very small element of the story. It's not the part of the main story, but their setup is one of the things that made them go even further feral is because they were starving. All of the Pooh and his friends ended up eating Eeyore.
That's part one.
Yeah, they don't show that. It's done in like a cartoon form thing that's kind of creepy and fun, but which makes total sense for two reasons. One, Eeyore was kind of the sad, depressing, bring everybody down. What's he going to do? Fight back? And two, for budgetary situation in the first film, Eeyore would probably be the one that's the most impossible.
How do you create a donkey?
Without making a whole donkey. Because he's the only one in the group that didn't stand up like an anamorphic character. He was like an actual donkey. So it was smart the way they handled that. And his tail even comes into play later, which is kind of fun. But in the new one, because we got Pooh and Piglet again, different variation of Piglet, we also got Owl and Tigger this time around that are both in the trailer.
We're expanding here. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so we're getting more of the famed characters, and there's still some we haven't seen yet. So it's expands it, and there's an explanation for it to how we can bring them back. For his praise many times. I think they're already working on Winnie the Pooh 3, and as well as some of these other films. So now that you know, this is an acquired taste film. Like you either love these films or you don't, kind of thing.
Why would you not like it?
I know, but I mean, well, first of all, if you don't like horror slasher films, you're gonna hate this movie.
Or if you really, really love Winnie the Pooh, and you're like, what the heck are they doing to my beloved character?
And you love Winnie the Pooh.
I do. Oh, Baba.
So you what?
Oh, I even said blustery day last week because
you did. So I'd like to know your feelings on the first movie first, because we never did a show on the first movie.
Oh, we did it.
Well, I think we did it on one of our bigger, longer shows. We did a quick conversation.
We didn't do it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It took me a while to get into the idea that it was just a person in a mask. But once you get into the movie and you start in it, and you're like, okay, let's set that aside. Let's get into the world, into the universe. I thought it was very clever the way they set these movies up, because it starts like a storybook. It starts like we're reading the book, just like the beginning of a Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah.
And then you get into the thing. So I think whoever made this, they have to be fans. They have to actually be fans of Winnie the Pooh and understand the characters. I think they are in my heart. I feel like they are, and they're just a little twisted, and that's fine, because then we go into this world. And it actually worked really well. And in addition to knowing your Winnie the Pooh mythology, they did a really good use of your tropes of all horror movies. You have the one girl that's too busy checking herself out to even notice what's happening. You have the one character that's always paranoid. You have the people that are like drinking and having sex and partying. Well, they're going to die. So, you're following still the same horror movie formula, but now it's with a character that's larger than life, literally, in this weird creature mat. So then it's like, oh, there's monsters in the woods. So it makes sense. It all works together really well, and it has no business working.
Well, and the guy that made it, Rice Frake Waterfield, who is a British filmmaker. These are basically British made films.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
They're not in England. I mean, they're English, but they're not in America. This was his first film, that first movie. And they had a lot of controversy behind it because of the subject matter and the transition. They got death threats. It is beloved. They got death threats for making it. All kinds of things happened. Yeah. But not only was it the first of his films, first film he ever made, also kickstarted his production company that now has an entire slate of films lined up with all these different universes. It's kind of become a Blumhouse for childhood and characters, if you will.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. You have to put aside disbelief. I mean, and then you're like, hey, that's just a dude in a mask. You got to let it go, like with any other movie. I think it took me a while because I do like Winnie the Pooh. And, I have Winnie the Pooh books and sayings and all that. So it's like, it took me a second. But it was in it. So looking forward to part 2, we watched the first one and I was like, oh, so-and-so got away. So maybe that's where we're going.
Yeah. And we were initially confused heading into the second one. We were like,
what's happening?
A character came back that clearly dies in the first film. And you're like,
but it's
okay, maybe it's not the same character.
So,
I know, but they look completely different.
Yeah.
So we assumed it was a different person until the story starts unfolding and explanations, because that same character dies again at the beginning of this film. This character seems to die a lot. They seem to be.
And that seems like something that would happen in
of all the characters. But they have this interesting explanation and kind of mid-credit scene, I think it was, that's kind of sets up more. And now it's created this perfect thing to be able to make these forever if they want to, no matter how they do it. They've taken those notes of Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers, and in saying that, the first film I think felt very much more like Friday the 13th, kind of vibe. Where this new one felt more like Halloween.
Yeah,
and I think it's because the first one you're in the woods, you're in the 100-acre wood in these cabins, a little bit of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe. Irony in the second one's got the chainsaw, but the second one gets out of the 100-acre wood and into the city a little bit. So it feels more like there's moments of like seeing Pooh standing outside the window or behind the door. Yeah. So it had a very Halloween vibe this time around.
Yeah.
But now the saving grace of these movies is obviously the kills, because anytime you watch a slasher flick, if you got bad kills, they just don't work. And even a really cheesy bad, like we recently were watching the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, and the first film is kind of 80s cheese as it is. It's got some great kills in it, with that sledding beheading, if you will, being one of the best on film I've ever seen. I love it, just the way it's shot. But this one is doing the same thing Terrifier did, where the first film was just kind of a thing, and once they made the other one, they started expanding the universe, making bigger. So what do you feel, or how do you feel about the expansion of the universe of seeing these other versions of these characters?
Oh, I liked it. I've been wondering if we were going to get other characters, and now we got some, and they were creepy as heck. And I was like, this is weird, and I love it. I'm there for it. So I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it took me a while, and I'm reading like reviews and stuff, and people are like, just because you can shouldn't mean you do it. But I'm like, dude, obviously people don't get the funny about it.
Well, there's been
and
this,
like you said, you're gonna love it or hate it.
Yeah, there's been this surge of taking children's properties and turning them into horror films lately. You know, you had the Banana Splits movie, which was turned the Banana Splits into a slasher fun flick. You had stuff like Wally's Wonderland, which, while technically is a spinoff of Five Nights at Freddy's, Five Nights at Freddy's is essentially a spinoff of taking Chuck E. Cheese or Showbiz Pizza and having these characters come to life. So there's stuff, it's the stuff we grew up with are now becoming these horror properties. To me, makes total sense because we're the audience that would watch it now.
Correct.
You know,
makes sense to me.
My kids don't give two craps about Winnie the Pooh.
No,
they didn't grow up with Winnie the Pooh. You know, they like this stuff or whatever, but
not as much as me.
If in the Peter Pan movie comes out, there's a Tinkerbell thing. My daughter's gonna love it if Tinkerbell's murdering people.
Yeah,
I'm assuming she'll have some part in it because you can go to our website and see the trailer for Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare at
HollywoodMatrimony.com,
which will be the third film in the Twisted Childhood universe. Make me so excited to see. It's in January. It's getting a couple of showings, so go check out. It also has the dates for that. I may try to go find one and go watch it. I don't know if you're gonna watch it.
I think my only disappointment is this movie is not getting some of the same people back.
Yeah.
I don't know what Christopher Robin from part 1 was doing for getting new Christopher Robin part 2, but he's good. He did a good job. Mm-hmm. You know, we see his family and then, you know, all these other people, and it's fine.
Yeah,
I don't think it matters.
I was looking around to see,
but I wanted to see him.
Yeah, I was looking around to see if there was anything, but again, they explained why the actor for Christopher Robin's different, why the Pooh actor is different, everybody, and it makes total sense and it works great.
It's fine.
It's just, I agree with you. I would have liked to see the same people.
And even the same Winnie the Pooh man that doesn't have weird long arms. Sorry, sir, whoever you are.
But
apologies.
Winnie the Pooh might be a case of like Jason and Mike Myers where they had different actors playing them all the time. So who knows?
Yeah. Because this one's this guy, but I don't think that's who it was in the first one.
No, it wasn't. It was a different actor.
Anyways,
I did like that the one in this film, that upgraded makeup, all the animals looked like something out of Island of Dr. Moreau, and really dirty and violent looking, and they fit the idea better. And with Pooh having a little more hair, it's getting more like a real life bear anamorphic thing as opposed to the cartoon bear. And it makes me happy. I just hope they don't keep changing them every movie. I hope this is the evolution of them, and then they
just stay here.
Make some tweaks, but as you get more money, but you know, keep them here.
Yeah.
But so, I love this movie. I love the first one.
Did you like this one better than the first?
I did like this one better than the first one, but I think again it's because the vibe of it.
Yeah.
I love the stalking stuff. I love the kills better. I love the looks of them. Like again, I have the same issue.
I don't like his long arms.
I have the same issue. His long arms didn't bother me as much as just a small head.
It's the head shoulder ratio.
Knees and toes.
So I didn't like that.
I love the Tigger. I thought Tigger.
Everything else.
Tigger was awesome. Even Crow, who kind of becomes almost a narrator for the group, which I thought was interesting because the characters don't speak in the first film.
Correct.
They stopped speaking because of their anger and became so feral. They haven't figured out a way to change the story where they can speak.
Yes.
So you got the iconic "oh bother" moment in the second film. We didn't have in the first one, right?
Okay. He said something else in the first one.
Did he say something in the first one?
Yes, the only time he spoke.
Maybe he said "oh bother" in the first one. It didn't matter. I don't know.
He didn't.
But anyway, I love both these movies, but I did like this one a little bit better.
Yeah, you're either gonna, like you said, love it or hate it. I think you need to. I think two people are. Can I say people are kind of duh? Like, do you not realize what it is you're going to watch? You're going to watch Winnie the Pooh slasher movie. And it tells you that in the trailer.
Yeah.
So how are people like, oh, this is dumb?
Well, here's the problem.
Like, what did you think you were watching?
You're right. People are stupid.
I didn't say that.
And no, you said they were dumb. No, a little bit. They're a lot dumb. Mm-hmm. If you go to see any movie, it's not like, so like when we were kids, I remember seeing The Last Dragon for the first time. And I saw that movie because my parents were going with their friends to see Porky's.
Oh, you can't.
I don't remember which one of those, and I was too young to watch that.
Right.
So it was a case of, we had the marquee back then where behind the I don't know if you remember this or not. I know you'll remember, but I mean, or if you thought about it. When you go to the box office, it used to have the little title cards behind it, and then they had all the show times, you know, and then when you go to each theater, it had all the title card on it. It was written the way the logo of the film was made, and so we didn't have access to tons of trailers or something. You'd see the trailers when you were at the theater, and maybe on TV, and that was it. And I remember parents saying, "You can't watch this. Pick something else." I picked this thing that said dragon because I knew it was either had dragons in it or it was karate. And either way, I was going to be happy. And it was PG or PG-13, whatever it was. So my parents, you can watch that. And so I remember me and one of my friends, we went and saw that together. And it's not like that now. Like now, there's trailers, there's posters.
There's too many trailers. I'm over.
No, I agree, but I'm saying for somebody to not know what they're going to watch,
true,
that's on you.
Yeah.
Like you get people that went and saw Deadpool, Wolverine, and like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be this. Have you not seen the first two? First of all, if you're going to see the third one and you haven't seen the first two, then that's your problem.
And the lady that's like, it was sacrilegious because he was saying he was Jesus. That was in the trailer.
In the trailer.
Marvel Jesus was in the trailer. Like,
yeah, so it's
and
like
he's being stupid. He's not being literal. It's a movie.
People that went to see Sausage Party. It was a cartoon. I didn't know it was for adults.
Oh my gosh! It said rated R, and it even said this is not for kids in the trailer. I remember that.
So anybody that goes and sees something without any sort of research,
that is on you.
Or you don't just look at what the rating is on it before you watch it or anything else, then I say you deserve whatever you get. And I don't think they should be able to get money back.
No.
I don't think if somebody takes their kids to watch something and you come running back out, I think the studios should be like, I can't watch it straight R. Like, well, you came and bought tickets.
Yep.
So
this one's not rated, so it's worse than rated R.
Yeah, usually. But if you look at Winnie the Pooh with a chainsaw and it says blood and honey, what do you think it's about?
It is a Winnie the Pooh slasher movie.
And can I say one of my favorite things is to watch him eat honey in these movies because it's gross.
It's just like,
yeah, it's just gross. Anyway, I love these movies, and if you're like me, you will love them.
It's actually creating a deep world and a deep story, if you can believe that.
Is.
So I that's what I liked more about this one is we're getting a new take on the whole entire mythology of what we think Winnie the Pooh is. So it's making me get into what all the new monsters are going to be. I'm into it. Anyway. It shouldn't work.
Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 is available now, I believe on Blu-ray through Shout Factory.
Shout
under their Scream Factory.
Scream
brand.
Eventually, it says here it'll be streaming.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll hit. It's already for digital by now, so I'm sure it'll hit.
You'll be able to stream it on Peacock and on Prime Video.
I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up on Shudder and some of those other places.
Oh, that'd be great. Love Shudder. You should get a subscription to Shudder. Not that I'm supporting Shudder. Shudder does not pay us for
in case they see anything, because I deal with Shout Factory directly a lot, and I hope with the first, I was really hoping because they released the first one on Blu-ray. I was like, come on, get the second one. They did, and I got it. I was super happy. So I'm hoping that maybe they stay attached to that group, and I can keep getting all the ones through them because I want to build an entire library.
That Peter Pan thing is
it looks so good. It's another slot. That was my least interested one of Peter Pan.
I'm angry at Peter Pan,
but I'm ready.
I'm angry because every time we go to Disney World, that freaking line for Peter Pan is just an hour long, and there's no reason. It's like every other ride. They're all the same, but why that one?
But after seeing the trailer for the Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, that looks fantastic. It looks like it potential to be a great slasher flick. This one's abducting children, and
I hope we don't hold back on that.
Bambi Unchained, I can't wait for. Which is Bambi basically running around like spearing people of vengeance.
Shouldn't have killed his mama.
And then we got Pinocchio Unstrung, I think it's called, which basically could be potential.
I hope it does. I have no strings to hold me down.
It won't, but
I know.
So anyway,
anyways, okay. Tell me about what's coming out.
All right, so we got a few things coming out. We're getting closer to the holidays, so it slows down on how many things they release. Too new because they don't want to get lost in the shelf. But this week does have some great stuff. We got Seinfeld, the complete series is getting released to 4K. Severance season 1 is getting the release on Blu-ray, DVD, whatnot. Daryl Dixon, the Book of Carol season 2 is getting released. I don't even know if you know about that or not.
No, I'm so behind. I'm still on the first show.
That's a spinoff from The Walking Dead with just Daryl and Carol.
Daryl and Carol, how cute is
that
that?
movie Piece by Piece, which is that Pharrell Williams documentary in Lego, is already coming to Blu-ray, so I guess we got a very small
Wow.
release.
I want to see that.
Immaculate's getting a new 4K release.
Oh, that
with
people were,
Citizen.
I did like that
It was
one.
okay.
I'll give that to her. I liked that movie.
Terrifier 3 is coming to 4K. I'm so excited. It's such a great flick. I think it's it's a new Christmas movie. It's such great.
That's my
we
impersonation.
got to finish watching Terrifier
of
because
him.
you've only seen All Hallows Eve, right?
Yes, that was enough. And he was all like,
oh no, you ain't seen nothing yet.
oh,
Terrifier
Lord,
3
I'm
is a
scared.
Christmas movie.
I'm
So,
scared.
Transformers 1 is getting its release. It bums me
That
out
was
that
such a good movie.
Yeah, it bums me out that movie did not do better at theaters. And even
when we
is
went,
it Hasbro?
yeah,
I think Hasbro is the people behind it. Have recently announced that they're no longer funding movies.
man.
So the studios will probably still make them, but I don't think Hasbro, the company's gonna.
When we
put money
went,
into
it had such a great response, and the kids were into it.
I have
and
yet
the
to
adults
see
were into
anybody
it.
on reaction videos, reviews, anybody say bad things about it.
It's such
It just
a good
didn't make the money that it deserves. Anyway, the new Hellboy, the Crooked Man movie is coming to Blu-ray. If you didn't know,
That's
there's
the
a new
one
Hellboy.
horror.
Yeah, it has got. It even has a writing credit from Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy. It's got this guy Jack Casey is playing him, and he looks visually, even though he looks similar to Ron Perlman, he looks more like the drawing of Hellboy. He's got a little bit longer of a neck, his body proportions. It's more of a horror film, so it's really more on the line. It's not that one. More in the line of what Hellboy is in the comics. Then Joker, Folie à Deux.
I need to watch that.
It's coming to 4K and whatnot. I like the movie. I don't think it gets. I think it got a bad rap because of my personal feeling is this first one set the bar so high. It's a completely different movie, and
it's what people were thinking that was going to be, and not every movie's the same.
And everybody I know, I've seen three things. I've seen people loved it. I've seen people think it's a horrible movie, and I've seen people in the middle be like, I liked it enough, but it depressed me. Because it is a depressing.
The first
movie.
one was depressing.
Yeah, this one is too. But this is a completely different tone.
I'll try it, and then we can talk about it.
Quentin Tarantino said this is one of the he thought it was one of the best movies he'd ever seen. So did John Waters.
Wow.
So a lot of people have there's other people that think this movie is gonna be one of those that comes around later, and when expectations is gone, people start finding it. Yeah. But we're not discussing that today. Then there's a bunch of other random 4K releases and whatnot.
All right, so let me tell you about what is coming out at the theater or on the line. On Tuesday, the 17th, there is a video demand and digital release called The Little Mermaid. This is a horror Little Mermaid about the beautiful Aurora Belle. So,
but I don't think this one has anything to do with the twisted horror universe thing.
No, not at all. This is just Eric and some Little Mermaid.
And so anybody that starts whining about the Little Mermaid, there's been a billion interpretations of the Little Mermaid based on a book.
Oh,
Disney's is not the end all be all of the Little Mermaid.
No, I think my favorite I think there was a ballet or something.
Well, remember we were at something. Maybe it was when we saw the Little Mermaid at the Alamo. Remember it was showing all the different versions.
So that ballet looked really cool.
There was like these Asian ones. There's all these different colored people that were races of Little Mermaids, but everybody's stuck on Disney's
people
the only
were all
one.
upset that she was black.
Anyway, sorry.
Who knows? Also on video demand digital movie called Glue Trap. A young people try to reconnect in a cabin. I'm already telling you this is gonna go bad. You said cabin? It's a horror movie. There you go. I know how to spot them.
What is just about a glue?
No.
Okay.
No. Coming out on Friday at the theater, Mufasa, the Lion King. This is that new animated. It's kind of weird live.
It's CGI live action.
CGI live?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain these.
It's a computer
generated
movie, CGI, but it's made to look like they're real animals, not a cartoon.
Correct.
Even though it would be classified technically, I guess, as
animation.
And it's a prequel to the previous one, just like this of The Lion King.
Correct. Also in theater, a movie called Homestead. I keep seeing things, and I got one of those. Watch this movie for free. So it makes me feel like it's in that realm of a Jesus movie that somebody's pushing on me.
Oh, that's very possible. Here, I'll look. I can tell you who that guy is if it's those people.
Okay. Well, it's called Angel. Hold on.
No, I know, but hold on. There's this very specific person.
Angel Studios.
Everyone wondered how the world ended.
Plain sound. Coming out of the theater, Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog Part 3. I'm kind of excited because I really like the Sonic movies. I went into those not knowing anything about Sonic except that he ran fast and he went Sega.
Well, I was, there was a lot of controversy with the first
Oh
one
my goodness.
when he first came out because the original trailer that laid Sonic was terrifying.
Right. He was
His
creepy
eyes were
looking.
wrong, and so after Backlash, they went back and changed it and turned it into this massive hit.
Very.
And
very good.
I was the same as you. As much as I like Sonic the Hedgehog, the game and whatnot, I played him like, I have no interest in this movie, but we're going to watch
You got to
it.
collect the coins.
And I'm like,
right?
holy crap, this movie is fantastic.
They're all
And
very
they
good.
keep getting better.
And Jim Carrey's back, so hopefully he's like.
And here's what's funny is he wasn't going to do anything after the first one.
Right.
He is seemingly retired from acting, but he's only doing Sonic movies.
Oh, my goodness.
And then he said recently he started doing some of them because he needed the money.
Hmm.
But I think he's having a good time playing this character.
Coming out to Netflix on Friday, a movie called The 688. This is the true story based on the all-black, all-female World War II battalion, and you've seen it in the trailers. It's Kerry Washington. I'm excited about it, so let's see what happens. And that's it for this week. Tell me about our giveaways.
All right, we
Meadow.
got a bunch of random stuff. We still got a few copies of the Terminator on 4K, the original, and we have some copies of, I'm going to say Joker 2 because I'm not going to keep trying to do the French stuff. Joker 2, the musical with Phoenix and Gaga. We got some copies of that. There's copies of Blazing Saddles still, and a couple left of Interstellar, both on 4K, as well as Watchmen, and some digital copies of Conclave that we'll be talking about soon.
All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching.